Okay, this video is about finding balance. So, in our lives we have all these different sectors. We have financial, we have family, we have career, health, we have relationships, we have self-care, and our interaction with the natural world. So if we look at the natural world, we can see how it is that balance comes to be in the world around us, and we can kind of glean that energy information signature into our own lives. So in nature, balance happens organically unless we interfere and we kind of intrude on nature and we do our own, trimming and planting and tearing down and all that stuff. But generally, nature has a very sublime, a divine blueprint for what nature itself sees as balance. And it is a way in which all of the elements present can interact with each other, can be nourished, and the smaller plants that aren't as hardy do not generally make it. Instead, they are pushed out by larger, more thriving aspects of nature. For example, if a water system comes through an area, it will, drown out or knock out or wash out certain parts of the soil or plants. If a weather pattern comes through, it might knock down things, but the stronger elements will survive and will regrow or reroot themselves and thrive. You can see this in older areas where nature has been left undisturbed. Or you can even see it in places where civilization has grown up and then it has crumbled and nature kind of takes over and grows over the top of walls and buildings, and it is seeking to maintain a certain balance based on the climate there, based on the temperature, based on the animal life that's present. And sometimes an animal presence or even insects or birds will come in and they will kind of dominate a region. And if you look at this overall, the earth strives to create a balanced, homeostasis for the overall health of the planet. Now we can see as humans have interfered in this, that the homeostasis of the planet has been compromised. And we reflect this somehow in our own lives, where we are very much like the earth in that we are our own entity, and we have allowed outside influences of society and programming and so forth to kind of interfere with the natural balance of things. If we were just manifesting our true soul essence all the time, then none of those elements would be able to affect us. But because we have chosen to interface with this reality and this way that we're all interacting, we are constantly battling, thought programs, subliminal messages, dietary influences or things in the environment, environmental pollutants, preservatives, other people's opinions, all these kinds of things. So in order to seek and maintain or reestablish balance within the self, it is first of all essential to reconnect with the earth herself, because the earth is also seeking to reestablish balance. And this is happening over a period of time, but it definitely is kind of amplified or revved up right now. And so just like us on this ascension process, we are seeking to reestablish a personal balance, and the wind agrees with me. So spending time in nature and breathing with nature and putting your back against a tree and smelling the flowers that are around you, and doing these things can help to, first of all, re-establish a connection with your true soul essence. And from that, it is easier to become aware of what things are not in harmony with your being. So it's easy when we're kind of disconnected from the natural cycles to get into patterns that are not serving us. And we kind of get on this sort of false matrix, or this it's like a costume or a pretend version or an altered version or an unreal version, an illusory version of ourself. And I believe that was part of the initial plan to come here and take that on and put that on and try that out. But at this point, we're ready to uncover our true soul essence. And so by doing that, we are kind of needing to uncloak ourselves from these things that have been holding us back. And that is the impulse we have to bring ourselves back into balance. So sitting in nature is definitely key. The more time you're able to even just put your bum on the earth or walk barefoot in the grass, you begin to reconnect to that rhythm. Another important aspect of that is because we have such a technology-based reality right now. Sometimes we are so plugged in to technologies that we have thrown off our natural circadian rhythm. And that is the way that hormones are balanced in our body, the way that our pituitary tells the other glands to do their thing. And so if we are off circadian rhythm, if we are using our technology late at night, past sundown, then that's messing with our glands. It's a good idea to try to shift to no blue light on the technology at night, or wear orange glasses, or like do something where you're in candlelight in the evening, and you kind of try to go back to a natural cycle where you're aware of the sun, you're aware of the moon cycles, you're paying attention to the planetary configurations, just for the fact that those things, though they seem external, they are very representative of what's in here. So we have a lunar and a solar force in the body. That's our masculine and feminine. And in the science of Swara Yoga, which is talked about which nostril is active, this shows that the astrological, planetary influences are in our bodies as well. And the more we are in tune with them out here, the more we recognize in here when it is a good time to communicate, when it is a good time to shine our light, when we want to draw in, and when when is a good time to connect with others, when it is a good time to expand and when to contract, when to create limitations and boundaries and when to release them. So this is one of the first key steps to finding balance in oneself again, and I encourage you to employ these practices and start to see the balance take place in your life.